One of my best cameras is set up to watch over this bird bath, not so much to check on the birds. In fact, there's way too many of them, and that becomes the problem that we're going to discuss right now. But sometimes over the years, I've seen crows and hawks, and yet to see an owl, but that might be kind of interesting to see. But I want to leave it available to see those animals and see somehow to filter out all the little tiny birds. That, if nothing else, takes me time to actually scan through my uh, uh, computer viewer and to select out the ones that I want to keep. Also, this is about the right height that coyotes and possums and raccoons and sometimes they'll come by here. And I have a homemade rat trap to stop the rats from coming in and bothering that. I don't mind them being somewhere else. I just don't like in front of my cameras. Let's show you what I end up doing here. Now, the camera is set up to where it's looking down just like this, and you'll notice that I have something white over the infrared sensor. I've shut off the side sensors, but it was just way too sensitive in order to for all the little tiny finches and bluebirds and things like that. And what I end up doing is, by doing this one thing we'll talk about, I was able to get it down to where I might get 2 or 3 videos a night versus a couple dozen, and it does not stop the bigger things that the machine sensitive enough to see, like coyotes, works out just fine. I'll see if I can cobble together a couple of videos showing that. So essentially, this camera has a very narrow field of view, which makes it really good for looking at something like this with no distortion. And the clarity is on, I think it's 20 megapixels. But I could not get the sensitivity down low enough. So I did a little bit of research, dealing with some of the surveillance guys and such. And what they say is the material that's put in front of these sensors is high density polyethylene, what we normally know as a milk jug material. So I got something that I found out to be polyethylene, and that was basically a lid to a soup container I got at Costco. And I cut a circle, and I silicoted it, glued it in place. You see right over that sensor right there, and that did the trick. I get just a few videos of birds from the morning and things like that, and no problem with it finding the coyotes. Now, you may ask, how do I know I am not missing some of the coyotes? Well, that's because I have another camera that's on. It's a wired camera that observes the whole thing. So I actually get to have a redundant system, so I get to see it from the whole yard and see how it triggers the cameras. And I've learned an awful lot by doing that as far as aiming and getting the right sensitivities down. So the point is that if this was still too sensitive, you just cut out another circle and you put it over there. And some people that I've read have put 3 to 5 on there, depending on how desensitized they want it to be. And this is for the very high-end cameras that are used for security. This is where I was getting the information from. Anyway, this works out really well. It's very simple to do. And if you have any questions about it, just put them in the comments section below. Please remember to subscribe and share this video to help disabled animals with donated wheelchairs.